Hey everybody, how are you? I hope you're doing well on this Sunday afternoon. And I have to tell you, the GM of the Boston Red Sox, I think David Stern should send him a very big bouquet because I think he bailed him out big time by being very incompetent. Wow, Craig Breslow of the Boston Red Sox, who runs that team, I don't know what he was thinking. Connor Early, if that's an indication of what the trade deadline is going to look like for the Mets, you may be getting me back for Freddie Peralta. I'll tell you, I don't understand it. Connor Early, I think he's 24 years of age, terrific. And the Washington National player that they got back, look, other than this year, he's been a 600 OPS guy. He's I believe, the top 1% of worst defensive players in baseball this year. And he is Mark Vientos with a Boston Red Sox jersey now. That's who he is. I think Mark Vientos is probably a better player, and that's scary because you know what I think about Mark Vientos. Unbelievable. Now, I don't know what that means. Hey, Brooke, I don't know what that means in terms of the trade deadline for the Mets. Freddie Peralta wasn't helped by his defense, but Freddie Peralta doesn't help himself either. Freddie Peralta has to stop falling behind. And I'll give him credit. He did get out of a couple of jams. He did show a little fight in him, but this is probably the last time we're going to see Freddie Peralta because Freddie Peralta will be scratched for his next start. I would venture to guess he won't pitch his next start with the Mets. They'll scratch him. I don't know who will come up. You might get Wenger up or a bullpen game, but it would make no sense to pitch Freddie Peralta, right? It's a big disappointment, Brooklyn. I'll follow them too until the day I die. You're right, man. It's a loyalty thing. You know, I'm loyal with that, with friends, with everything. I try to be at least pretty loyal, but there comes a time when you just your metal is certainly challenged, and this season has challenged it. I like to say like no other, but I've been through. This isn't my first rodeo. Oh, it's my sports guy. Hold on. All right, this is the gentleman that told me that the Dodgers have spoken to the Mets about Luis Torrens. There is a chance that uh, the Dodger catches out for the year. I figured I don't know if you've heard that, but Will Smith, he might be out for the year. Well, he's not a bigger clown than Breslow, the Boston Red Sox GM who just gave up a starting left-hander with 4 years of team control. I think he's 24, who certainly would go to number one in the Mets organization if you didn't want to have him on your major league roster as your prospect. He'd probably be the number two man in your pitching rotation. And they got a defensive disaster who's having a good year. If you notice, I'm not turning around to watch the Met game. I repositioned my little table in the bedroom here, so not to annoy you. It's bad enough to see my face head on. You have to see it turning around like The Exorcist. let me just go through this trade with you, and then I'll tell you what my friend said today about the Tarek Skubal Association, and that is the people that are around him. He has like 15 people advising him. My friend is friends with one of them. He calls like people every day. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Skubal. He doesn't call my friend, but he seems to really be very vested in where he's going. Now, the Connor Early trade, as I see it, I don't know what Boston's thinking, unless there's something to it that we don't know. Curtis Mead, third baseman, he's worse than Vientos defensively. I know you're not going to believe me when I say that. He is worse than Vientos. We'll put it this way. If they both had a 30-yard dash, they both dropped dead before they hit the finish line. That's how close they are. Now, he's having a breakout season, Mead. He's going to hit 25 homers this year, probably not getting 80. Got an 852 OPS in 87 games. He had 5 homers in 3 seasons with Tampa Bay and White Sox, and he was released. So, do you believe his season more than you believe Vientos' playoff run with the Mets? I don't. Washington also is listening on shortstop Abrams, which means Abrams is a problem. Abrams is a shortstop that's going to hit 40 home runs, and all you hear about is him being offered the teams. There's got to be something wrong. Now he's an under control shortstop, and Washington probably wants to build. Washington needs pitching. If Washington had pitching, they'd win the East. They definitely, I think they're as good as the Dodgers offensively, not quite as consistent. But the Dodgers also have 2 Hall of Famers in the middle of the lineup. But Mead's going to give Boston some versatility with the bat. Not defensive versatility. He's terrible. He plays first, second, and third, but he's atrocious. 7-5, 3.44 ERA for Connor Early, 93 strikeouts and 91 innings, playing in Boston. Okay, the Green Monster doesn't hold the scariness that it did 30, 40 years ago. But you're a lefty throwing to righty hitters there. And he has a 1.25 whip, which is excellent. Now, he has elbow issues. That could be the deal. He's on the injured list right now. Doctors don't believe the structural damage, but, my doctor didn't think I was diabetic, and I ended up having a stroke. So, arms like Connor Early's generally don't get traded lefties. I will tell you, though, with Sonny Gray and what do they have? Suarez, Bennett, Sandoval, Tolle. They have some great minor league pitching, Boston. But I will tell you this much. The reason why I like getting lefties from Boston, Daniel, because I have a feeling at 24, when you have elbow issues, they don't get better. And there must be evidently Boston's medical staff doesn't like the idea that at 24 he has elbow issues. But I look at lefties that have come from Boston. John Tudor, Cy Young Award winner, who wasn't anything special in Boston. Bruce Hurst goes to San Diego. Amazing. Bobby Ojeda comes to the Mets. Amazing. Amazing. You like that? Lefties, when they get out of Fenway, seem to do very well when they get traded. So I'll get the Skubal in a second, but I think that Boston believes Connor Early is hurt. You're not giving up a lefty like that for Mead. There's no way. You can't tell me that they couldn't have got more for Connor Early. I think Washington was desperate to take advantage of me playing well for 3 months. And Connor Early, I think, is hurt. Now, does that bode well? That's gone. Tyrone Taylor just hit one in the second deck. No, first deck. 3-run homer, Tyrone Taylor. As my friend would say in the bar when he was half in the bag, hello, boys. So Tyrone Taylor, big 3-run homer. Maybe Freddie Peralta doesn't get an L in his last game as a New York Met. I'll tell you some notes. And then I invited someone on who was a pretty good Met show. It's small, but he was doing a live today, and I caught him, and I thought he'd be cool to have on here. He seems like a nice guy. He's young. He didn't have a lot of people watching, and I think he should have, because he does a really nice job. I hung out there for 5 minutes, but in the 5 minutes, I was very interested. Usually, I've had a couple of people ask to come on my show. Believe it or not, I'm getting 800 views now, 700 views. This station is picking up steam. I don't know why, because I wouldn't watch me, but maybe it's because I'm honest. Maybe because I'm not kissing SNY in the Mets ass. I say it the way I see it. And maybe some people like that I'm not being politically correct. But I will tell you this much, and I'm totally honest with you here. I'm not being non-politically correct to get views, because honestly, I could give a shit less. I could pay my car payment without this channel. I don't make $1 on this channel. Well, no, pretty much I make $1. That's what I make. So, but I like hanging with people that I've become friends with. And you guys, I all consider friends. Hey, Will. Yeah, the Mets are going to win. Probably may lose 100 now. Brooklyn might be right. He called 100. Well, he called 90 plus 2.5 months ago. So you got to give Brooklyn credit there, where credit is due. Let me just tell you some inside stuff. They like to lose games, and I like to lose them too. Here is one Scooble. The Dodgers have called them about Scooble. They have. The Dodgers right now are very, very upset about Will Smith, the catcher. And they have kind of shifted their focus to catching. They're afraid he's going to be out for the year. Evidently, there's structural damage in that neck. It's not coming along. So they have spoken about Torrens while they're in town. That I know. That Stearns was sitting talking with the GM. The GM made the trip, the Dodger GM. And they had lunch in the executive dining room. Know that for a fact. And Torrens' name was brought up. As for Alvarez, I was told that looking at the Washington trade set a terrible precedent on what you're going to have to give up for a hitter now. Because if you got Connor Early for Meade, what would the Mets get for Alvarez? You don't think Boston would have given you Connor Early for Alvarez? Would have given you his wife too, Breslow. Can you imagine? So what do you think you can get for Alvarez? This is what I was told. I was told if the Mets get what they consider $1.75 on the dollar, they'll trade Alvarez. The Mets have a structured system. I'll give you an example of how it works. When the Mets POBO looks at the Met organization, an outside analyst, this is what was done. This I know because I know one of the guys that were in the 9-person panel that did it. He used to be an accountant with Ernst & Young a while back. He's an actuary, actually. He assesses risk, like the chances you're going to die and how much someone should pay out. That's what he does for a living. And he's friendly with Cohen. The Mets, I look at the Met lineup now. This is how you could tell if I'm doing well as a GM. I look at the Met lineup, and I'm going to teach you something right now. Lindor at short. Beatty. Young. Bichette. Let's say Ewing, Benj, Soto, Alvarez. They have an A, B, and C tier in the major leagues, comparable players, and a mean of how much they make. If you look at the Mets payroll, you have to take options and no trade clauses in the mix. I'll show you how it works. And I used to do this as a stockbroker when I did mortgage-backed securities. Francisco Lindor, let's start with Lindor, makes $32 million a year. You're on the hook for, I think, another 6 years. Okay? Look at 3 comparable shortstops and what they would make. Lindor is probably worth $23 million a year. So you're overpaying. You're minus $9 million. Look at Bichette. You're making 42. Bichette 26. You're minus $16 million. Beatty, an average second baseman, $8 million a year. So Beatty, you're making plus $4 million. Young, you have him cheap. Young's production plus $3 million. Alvarez. I think Alvarez is making $2.4 million. Alvarez is probably an $8 million catcher right now in his career. So you're plus $6 million. They add all the money. Like Brett Beatty, I think he makes $800,000. Nice play by Ewing. One away, top 7. You look at Soto making what, 50? Soto's production, that's a question mark, unquantifiable. You can't replace Soto, but you would think 35 to 40 million for Soto. Ewing right now is probably playing like a $10 million player, and Benj like a $12 million player. Okay, Benj is not a premium position. Ewing is, but Benj is going to give you more power. You look at it that way. You look at the relief pitching. Okay, you're overpaying terribly. Braziban, he's making $1 million. Braziban should probably be getting 6 for his 5 to 6. McLean, you're paying $790. McLean right now is worth probably 10. Christian Scott's making $780. He's worth 7. I'm just off the top of my head. Zach Thornton, $780. He's worth $1.5 million. And you go through it at Freddie Peralta, $8 million. Honestly, you're not overpaying for Freddie Peralta. A 4.8 ERA, a guy that can give you 32 starts. The starts are what count. That you don't have to use up your bullpen and ruin your bullpen. And use options. Each option's worth about $150,000. And then you look at Clay Holmes is making $13,000. Clay Holmes is pitching like a $22 million pitcher. So this is what they do. They add up all the numbers and they say, are we plus or negative? The Mets payroll probably is negative $80 million this year, which means they're getting negative $80 million production for their lineup. That doesn't seem like it's a team that's being run well, does it? I don't think so. Now, Connor Early is probably worth $12 million, I would say. So these are the possible trades that I'm hearing. I'm hearing Weaver to the Cubs. I'm hearing Weaver to the Padres because they plan on flipping Miller, and they'll replace Miller with Weaver. That's what I'm hearing. Hey, Dave. I'm hearing Bichette, believe it or not, Stearns is taking him off the market. He's not on the market. Took him off the market for whatever reason. Maybe he had a talk with him. I don't know. And Lindor is off the market. The Mets consider payroll as that 1.75 on the dollar. So they look at Alvarez, and Alvarez probably would be making $12 million. So the Mets have to be picking up $10 million worth of player besides Alvarez, which means that the Mets value a double-A player $1 million, a top 100 prospect 1.5, and a top 50 2.5. So pretty much for Alvarez, the Mets would want a top 75 prospect and a player at least 4 years under control. Because is there a top 75 prospect right now that's as good as Alvarez in the catching department? No. So you'd have to wait for at least another 2 years. Because he's doing his job, Daniel. If you went into your friend's house, would you not turn off the, would you not lock up because it's not your house? Who cares if someone breaks in? Or would you lock up? It's being responsible. It's having a job, doing your job. This would be an interesting win for the Mets. Taylor has definitely increased his price. For Taylor, you can get, I'll tell you, for Connor Early, I think everyone probably in Major League Baseball is stunned today because this just ruined it to try to trade someone. What are you going to get for Peralta if Connor Early went for Meade? You know what the deal with Angel Pagan was? You know what the real story behind him was, Brooklyn? Press 1 if you want to hear it. Well, the Red Sox are cheap. The Red Sox don't want to pay anybody. The reason why they didn't want Abrams, they'll have to pay him eventually. You don't have to pay Meade. If Meade hits 35 homers this year, you don't have to pay him. He doesn't have the track record. What happened was Angel Pagan was playing center field for a game with the Mets and ran off the field and into the dugout. They thought he was angry. He had colitis. He legitimately crapped his pants out in the outfield. And they thought he was being insubordinate. He was embarrassed to say what happened. He had colitis. He started wearing a diaper in the field for a while. No dismergement on Pagan, but that's what happened. He had a very bad bout of colitis. And he ran off the field right into it, and they thought he was angry or whatever. And someone said something to him, and he snapped because he had to run in to the bathroom. He couldn't hold it. And there was miscommunication there. That's what happened with him. Look, now listen, I have heard from people that played with him. He wasn't the greatest guy in the world either. But look, when you're sick, you're sick. That's not a joke. Anybody that's ever had a stomach issue, anybody that's ever been in a car and your stomach, you don't think you're going to make it. That's a terrible feeling. It gets psychological. It's terrible. No, I don't think Alvarez will. Although, hey, Seth, I don't think he will be traded because I don't think anybody will hit the price. Because Stearns has every right now to use the kind of early trade. And look, kind of Mead stinks. Oh, whatever his name was, stinks. And they got a controllable lefty with a high upside. What do you think we want for Alvarez? Look at this, Freddie. Look at Freeman makes plays even when his glove falls off. I bet a game today on DraftKings. I bet Otani to have a hit minus 250, Freddie Freeman minus 250. Oh, so they didn't get anybody. Oh, he did step on first. Look at that play Freddie Freeman made. He had the wherewithal to step on first. Such a good player. If it wasn't for Matt Olson, he'd have a couple of more gold gloves, Freddie Freeman. So, yeah, if I'm the Mets, I try to get Abrams, the shortstop. I'd give them bench for Abrams. Abrams is going to be a 40 home run hitter. You can sell really high on bench right now. In a few minutes, because I'm waiting on someone, Seth, that might come in. But I think that the Met asking price has to be you have to pay $175 on the dollar for Alvarez. And I don't think anybody, because when you say, well, kind of early, and they're going to say, yeah, well, Breslow's an asshole, off one trade. But one trade sometimes sets the market. But there's no doubt in my mind there's a hit. There's no doubt in my mind that Connor Early, Boston's not convinced that his elbow issues are behind him. When you have elbow issues, you got to remember, elbow issues are very fixable. See, when you have shoulder problems, it's a problem. When you have shoulder problems, big problem. Shoulder problems don't get better. Elbow gets better. Surgery, you miss 18 months and you're good for 5 years. Meanwhile, just to give you something that I think you'd enjoy to hear. Mizorowski, I think, struck out 11 of the first 12 batters. He's unbelievable. 12 strikeouts, 5 innings. He's going to blow his arm out. Who wants to bet me within 2 years he needs Tommy John surgery? Just give you a quick rundown of the scoreboard. Nationals are up 9-4 over Arizona. I bet the Nationals over every game. Best lineup in baseball, the Nationals. I would go after Abrams. Abrams is going to be some star. Right now, Abrams batting .293, 25 homers, 79 RBIs, and they're looking to trade him Washington. What does that tell you? I'd go after him, and I'd move Lindor to second. I'd give them whatever they want for Abrams. I'd give them for Abrams. I'd give them Jonathan Santucci, Carson Bench, and Alvarez. And you give me Abrams, and you give me I'll take Max Kranick off your hands. We had him once. Oh, did you, Ray? They're going to shed salary. They're not going to take Lindor. They're going to build that team around Wood. They're not going to take Bichette. For Tariq Skubal, you'd have to trade. They'd probably want Ben Genuine, which is I would never do it. First of all, you're going to think I'm crazy. And look, did I not tell you guys last month, William? You're my honorary mod here. I told you Skeens was hurt last month. Skeens is hurt. I'm hearing Skeens is going to be shut down. And you heard it. And go around YouTube. See if you find any Met guy telling you that. Skeens is going to be shut down. I did, William. Now, I know what I'm doing on here. I might not be the biggest platform, but I get the information that's real, and I get it a week before everybody else gets it. This time a month. Skeens is going to be shut down. I don't know when, but he's having issues. And Skeens is also having an issue off the field as well. Not his fault. There's something going on in his personal life. Not his fault. I heard Skeens is a good guy. But yeah, I was told about 4 or 5 weeks ago, if you go back, that Skeens is having a health issue. And there's nothing structurally terrible, but there's something wrong. And I told you guys that about 5 weeks ago, I think. I'm being told Soto's not coming back. He's going to be shut down for the season. He has a grade 2 strain. The Mets are more afraid that Soto will run differently. Soto, when he was 13, had an accident, hurt his back when he was a kid. It has never flared up. The Mets are afraid that because of the left quad, he hurt this one. They feel that he wasn't running totally free. And he had it in the back of his mind about the left quad, and that's why he hurt the right one. And he was dehydrated. He's been dehydrating. There have been a couple of issues with him dehydrating. He actually had intravenous in the clubhouse once before a doubleheader. And I think it could be Achilles. Yeah, Achilles usually not. It's usually your lower back you'll hurt. Achilles is tough. That's usually a little bit of a different injury. But Soto, his gait, they put electrodes on him in the lab to see the way he's running. He's been running well, but he's running a little off kilter. I saw it when he was rounding first a week or two ago. He's favoring, and they're afraid that he's going to hurt his lower back. And they feel now he has nowhere to favor. He's got the left and the right. If the left was properly, it takes 6 months to properly heal a calf. And I think that they feel with a calf that is not 100% the left side with the right, they're not going to take a chance. They're going to have a team meeting with the physicians Friday at Lenox Hill Hospital, David Alchek. And that's when they're going to decide. Now, you have to remember, Soto has to be on board with this. He has to be on board with this. Seth, just give me a couple of minutes because I might have an agent coming in. So, is that a home run? No, yes, no, yes. A 3-run homer, Simeon. Yeah, I might have an agent coming in, actually. So, yeah, I think he'll be shut down. But Soto has to be on board. You got to remember, if Soto doesn't want to be shut down, they're not going to shut him down. But I think Soto is not feeling great. Soto also has been getting treatment on that left quad every game. He's in the trainer's room 3 hours before, getting electric stimuli and heat, ice, and all that, and stretching. This is what I thought you'd have from Simeon the whole year. I thought Simeon still might hit 17 homers this year. Pretty scary. This guy's screaming into his glove. What do you think he's saying there? You know what he's saying there? The worst fucking second baseman in baseball I just gave up a bomb to. This is what's called a feel-good win for the Mets. It means nothing in the standings, but you can say, hey, we bitch slapped the Dodgers on a Sunday afternoon. That's basically what it means. It means nothing. But we'll see with Soto. I think he should be shut down. Now, then again, I don't have a medical degree. I didn't look at the MRI, but he also took a CAT scan. But I think that it's amazing, Ray, when these players smell possibly getting the fuck out of here, they go back 10 years in their career. I usually go to the hospital, special surgery. I had this shoulder done there. Dr. Dines, if you read about him, David Dines, Dines. He wrote the book. Yeah, William. Be interesting. Look, it is what it is. Let me see if this guy's going to come on. Happy Juneteenth. You got that in your mind, don't you, Brooklyn? I notice there are certain things that you say. I don't know if you like to get the political stuff going and you figure that's my buzz, so I'll start talking about it. Not sure. I haven't figured you out yet. Nor do I think I can. But I think that, no puppets. No puppets today, Brooklyn. The puppets creep me out. I love puppets, don't get me wrong. But they come in and they don't say anything. I have them on and they're not saying anything. We're going to play the Beltan acceptance speech later. Luke Weaver coming in. Watch Luke Weaver pull a hamstring. I swear, I would have told all these guys, stay home and watch the game. Call up all the AAA guys. I would not. Well, I guess you have to use them. This would be strong, though. A nice outing today and then maybe midweek. Oh, mannequins are scary, Brooklyn. They're scary. Puppets can be scary. I had a friend that was a great ventriloquist. Now, Weaver's good. Weaver's had a great year. I almost want to keep Weaver. I just don't believe that they're going to compete next year. And you're going to waste a year of him. And you're not going to get as much next year from him. I think it's pretty safe to say that Weaver is not going to pitch to an under 2 ERA next year. Yes, I did, Ray. 1976. That was Anne Margaret, right? Yeah, clowns. Yeah, clowns are okay. Yeah, 1976. I'm a movie buff. I know movies, right? Yeah, Anne Margaret. He was good. I don't know if you ever saw Otto and George. He was a dear friend of mine who died about 13 years ago. He used to hang out with me, Andy Dice Clay, Vic DeBedito. We all used to hang out. He was really funny.
Yeah, both dead. Speaking of dead, are they storing the bodies in here? I'm freezing.
He was a good guy. All the puppets are out today. Yeah, I get. This is what I get now. Someone said Brooklyn Guy called you a doo-doo head. This is what it's come to on this channel. Can you imagine? I got kids calling me a doo-doo head, which they're not wrong. I mean, they happen to be pretty perceptive. But Max Muncie's up. I can. He died, Ray. Otto and George. Go to YouTube. Otto and George. He did some great stuff. Yeah, he was a good friend of mine, Otto Peterson. We used to go to the El Greco Diner in Sheepshead Bay. Me, Otto, Vic DeBedito, Andy, Clay, and he'd have a green army duffel bag with George, the ventriloquist. They buried him with him. And I wonder if George decomposed. So he'd be in this little thing and he'd be going, "Let me out of here." And the waitress would look and everybody would look. He was funny. He was also coked out of his head with me. So we were feeling good at that time. Weaver's getting hit hard, huh? What? Freddie Freeman's on every single at bat. Freddie Freeman's on. Yeah, Semien. You see the play that Semien made when he stopped the ball? He usually makes that play. 5 years ago, he gets up and throws that. He can't do it anymore. If you notice, Semien can get to the ball stretched out. He just can't get the ball over to first anymore. Semien was a great defensive player. Hey, Joe. Yeah, puppets can give you nightmares. Go look at Otto and George, Ray, the Telecrappies. Oh my God, is it hilarious? Like a little movie he made. Really funny. Yeah, it was good. He was filthy. He was funny. Yeah, Tiffany Diner. I used to go there. Brooklyn. Tiffany Diner. Do you remember the guy that used to greet you at a crossed eye? I used to go there all the time, Tiffany Diner. I used to play Bay Ridge with my band. Yeah, we used to go there all the time. Good diner. Del Rio's was good on Kings Highway. El Greco. All the diners are gone. Ray, I believe so, yeah. I have a feeling they are, absolutely. Look, they're very, very nice, those kids. You now have to tell you something. Ray, I believe so. I also am not comfortable entertaining kids on the show. It might just be my hangup. I just don't feel comfortable entertaining kids. No, no judgments. I understand, Ray. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I think definitely there's a hit. Yeah, of course Weaver's going to get blown up today. Yeah, I believe. And look, I think it's wonderful. I think the puppets probably are very therapeutic for them. They relate to the camaraderie. I think it's great. I just don't feel comfortable when kids are in the show. I might say something that's offbeat. I'm 64 years of age. I shouldn't be hanging. To me, it's hanging out with a 15-year-old. It's just on screen. I don't feel comfortable with it. Yeah, I don't mind having them once in a while. I don't mind. They can say, but the thing is, they'll come in, they don't say anything. I think they come in so they can call their friends. I'm going to be on a show. And they don't say anything though. You saw when I was asking the kid about his life, I was very, very interested. I thought it was great. I did. And I think the kid felt bad that I didn't do a show with him about him. I would do a show on his life if he wanted me to. I certainly would. He could be the guest, and I would ask him all about his life, but I don't feel comfortable with that. You know what I mean? I think you know what I mean. And I'm not going to hide behind a puppet. Although I was going to get a puppet, but I want to design him the way I want him to look and put him on here. It'll be my alter ego. I agree, Ray. Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but yeah, Epstein went to my school. Epstein graduated about 8 years before me. He went to Lafayette. It does put me in a tough spot, and I don't mind. Like if the kid wants to come on to say hi, that's not a problem. But I don't want to converse because there's nothing to converse. What do I have in common with a 14-year-old? Other than that, they're probably more mature than I am, right? But no, I have no problem if they want to just jump on, say hi, and they want to tell their friends, "Hey, I'm on a show." I have no problem with that. And this show is actually gaining some. I went from I'm getting 800 views a shot now with my Met thing. I used to get 50. People are watching. I wish people would watch some of the music shows I do and stuff, not only the baseball stuff, but I'll get there. Like I said, this isn't to make money. I enjoy it. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy meeting fellow fans. Um, I like it. Like Rock broke my chops. Rock said in here last night about it, do a short on Mike, and I had no idea what he was talking about, Mick. And then he joked around and said it was Mick Jagger's birthday. So I shouted out his birthday. What did he hit him now? His birthday is on August 4th, my dad's birthday. His brother, I think, is going to be 65. I think Rock's 64. And Philly fan. And I love when he comes in here. And I feel bad when he thinks I'm ignoring him. I'm not ignoring him. I got a lot of things going on. And so Weaver's loaded the bases now, right? With 2 out. You knew this was going to happen. And don't think for a second that it's in their minds also, the trade deadline. I don't think Weaver wants to stay here. Why would you want to stay here? Yeah, Weaver is, I wouldn't take him out. Well, this outing is not going to, people perceive the Dodgers as having a very good lineup. This won't hurt him. Actually, if he gets out of it, it helps him because that's your last thought. Oh, the bases loaded. He got out Hernandez, who's a tough hitter. It could help too. I wouldn't think he's going to give up a homer. Teoscar Hernandez is the kind of guy we needed. In fact, the Mets were interested in him, but he went back to the Dodgers. The thing I like about Weaver's stuff, it doesn't really change from outing to outing, if you notice. Weaver, within a mile, his fastball, his stuff presents very well. He's had control issues the last couple of times out. That's a great pitch. He hasn't had the same control. He might be wearing down a bit. Yeah, I think Brooklyn's a closet Yankee fan. He does everything he can to put the whammy on the Mets. I'm joking, Brooklyn. Brooklyn's cool. Anybody with Brooklyn in their title, you had me at Brooklyn, as Jerry Maguire would say. Let's see, Weaver. Top 8. What's he throwing? 19 pitches? And Devon. Boy, they're begging. He looks good this week. They want to. Oh, I was told that they're looking to push Devin Williams on everybody. That as soon as a relief pitcher comes up, they mention Devin Williams first. Oh, what a pitch that was. The Mets want to unload Devin Williams. You know, if Devin Williams was having a great year this year, it almost looks like Weaver's year and last year with the Yankees were outliers, right? Because they came to New York with a worse club and did well. And it's interesting because the American League stinks. National League, much better league than the American League. And you see that play right there? That's why the Dodgers want Torrens. Torrens has had a very good defensive series, and it's no coincidence that he's playing. I could see Torrens being shipped to the Dodgers. The Mets have a lot of faith in the Dodgers system. Wow, what a play. Weaver's a great athlete. Is Weaver going to win the Gold Glove this year pitching? Watch, he hurt himself. He's some athlete. Look at this play. That's incredible. That was a great play. So, yeah, look, the Mets, I'm waiting, Seth. I'll give him another few minutes because he was on calls. Yeah, that was a great play. Was talking to my future sponsor today. Actually got back to them because they called me last night. And I didn't see it. I was on here. I was doing, I don't know what I was doing. And oh, okay, Seth. And they were telling me, and you know the funny thing is, because I really don't care. You see, I could give a shit less. I said, first of all, no parameters. I'm not going to call Madonna a sea bag. Other than that, I am who I am. I'm not changing. And they said, no, we don't want you to change. Don't worry. There's just certain things you can't do. I said, well, that's fair, but there's a very good chance if the list is more than 3 things that we're not going to have a relationship. I cannot believe they want me. I wouldn't want me. But then again, my viewership's going up. Right? There are a lot of channels that cover the Mets that don't get 800 views, 900 views on a postgame. So I'm doing the right thing, obviously. I have no idea what it is, but I'm doing it. And I'm just trying to be me. Let me put the air conditioner on before I fucking kill over and have a stroke here. Figured out how to turn this thing so I can watch the screen and I don't have to keep on looking like the Exorcist for you. No more Juneteenth. Okay, Brooklyn. You don't have to behave. Brooklyn, you be you. That's why you're in here. You could be you. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't at all. I'm being serious. You be you. That's why I'm glad you're here. Everyone should be able to be who they are in here. I'm not running for office, nor should you be. Seth, you can come in for a few minutes. I can't have you in long, though. I'll explain to you why later. The sponsors don't want all the guests all the time. Believe it or not, they said we want to see you. They floated my boat. I thought they were ragging me, really. I said, you realize you're talking to me, right? Like, I'm not that good. Yeah, we know. But I enjoy this. And look, my viewership's going up. I had 800 views or 900 views yesterday. I couldn't believe it. No, what the fuck are these people thinking? It's because I'm me. I'm just being myself. That's why. I'm not running for office. I'm not kissing sports channels' ass. That's someone's ass. Hey,
if you don't want me on a regular basis, that's just for the
oh,
sake
no,
of the
no,
sponsorship.
not
That's
you.
fine.
No, not you. No, it's not you.
Oh.
No, I don't mean you. I mean the puppets and all that stuff. They don't want that. No, because you're a Met. You know, you have the Mets behind you. You talk about the Mets. They don't want, if on a Met cast, me talking about comedy show. You know what I mean? They want it to be Mets.
And
I understand.
what I had typed about Will Klein earlier in the chat, what I said about him, about the only reason he got a spot on the bullpen for the Dodgers during the World Series last year was because of Vesia's familial grievings. It was legit.
It was what?
What I said about Klein getting a World Series spot last year because of what happened with Vesia, it was legit.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. He lost his child, an infant?
Yes.
That's
Vesia,
terrible.
you mean Vesia? Then yes.
Yeah. What a terrible thing. That's sad. That's very sad. I can never imagine. And I'm a father. I have one. But I just can never imagine the pain. Oh, my God.
No parent should ever have to bury their child.
No, I totally agree with you. So what did you think of that trade? Kind of overpay, isn't it, for Boston? Boston traded Mead they got Connor Early from Boston, the pitcher, the lefty pitcher.
Where is he going?
Washington.
That is a bit of an overpay, especially when you basically had a franchise-tying 15-game winning streak snap, and you're letting him go to Washington.
Yeah, right. I know they have a lot of pitching, Boston, but that seems like an overpay for me. Can you imagine what you get for Alvarez?
What did Washington give up for Early?
Mead.
Yeah.
Who has, I think, 17 homers this year. He's having a good year, but he was released a year or two ago. He's, look, guys get good, I guess, but what are you going to ask for Alvarez? You'd have to get Connor Early. And honestly, if I could have got Connor Early for Alvarez, I might have done it.
But we didn't.
No, 24-year-old. And that's what is Stern sitting on his ass? Like, didn't he have I didn't know they were trading Connor Early. Wouldn't Stearns have inquired? You mean to tell me that he couldn't acquire Connor Early?
And that's the problem with Stearns. He's such a slowpoke when it comes to this sort of thing. He doesn't, when he sees young potential, he doesn't want it. He wants older, broken down pieces. I'm getting fed up with that. In many ways, this is similar to the Isaiah Thomas era Knicks, where instead of building a shit team through the draft, I'm just using this for context. Am I right? Right?
No, you're right.
Instead of building through the draft and getting high quality players, whether it be from Dolan's interference or Thomas's own incompetence or both, it would just lead to a bunch of poorly done, get-rich-quick trades for pieces that didn't fit the Knicks system or were past their prime and riddled with injuries.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Joe, the interesting thing was, you know what signed on the dotted line, what convinced them? And some other person, Mateo's restaurant, is going to sponsor me. I'm going to have two sponsors. Do you know why? I think you said it. When the kid came on, and I was surprised but didn't blink. And they thought that
restaurant.
They thought that was pretty cool. They said, "Wow, you didn't even react." It was like you weren't surprised.
Joined Brooklyn.
Yeah, very good place, Mateo's. Good restaurant.
Does it have that weird pizza or that? I don't know which one it was.
What's that?
I don't remember which pizza it was, but whatever one it had, may have had some like pineapple or bacon and hot honey on it.
There's a lot of pizzerias now in New York, Seth, that have that.
But that's blasphemy.
I know, it's ridiculous. Pineapple on pizza.
Sacrilege.
Yes. Are you a pizza guy? You like pizza?
Italian by blood. When I was a kid, when I lived in Staten Island, we visited my grandmother in Brooklyn. Occasionally, she would take. Occasionally, we go to L&B Spumoni.
Oh, the best. L&B Spumoni Garden, yeah. Great place. Near Lafayette High School. I used to go there a lot.
And it was actually the last time I went there was after we put her 6 feet under when she died in 2013.
Oh, sorry about that. So you haven't been back to New York in a while?
In almost a decade and a half.
Wow.
It's changed. Anyway.
It's changed.
Yeah, for the worst.
Kind of.
For the worst.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible. Yes, I am going to keep Seth.
Mandami acting like the tyrannical
I know.
piece of dog shit that he is. I mean,
I agree with you.
the fact he plans to arrest Netanyahu when he visits the UN in September
Well,
is disgusting when he does not have the authority to do so.
See, that's the thing. You would think that he hasn't been able to, any of the promises that he promised, he hasn't been able to deliver on. And even that one, it's kind of like, that was the most ridiculous because, look, he must have been told, you really can't do that. Why would you keep on saying
because he's a Muslim piece of garbage.
I agree.
Or rather, an Arab piece of garbage, just to clear that up.
I know what you're saying.
I'm
So
not
do you trust Stearns this year?
What?
Do you trust Stearns?
Not this year.
I don't.
Probably won't trust him next year. And I would rather see Cohen get off his ass and cut the contract after next season. Or better yet, we don't play next season at all because there may be a player's strike.
Hey, John, you know who I want to be the next GM of the Mets? Omar Minaya.
You want Minaya back?
Yep, I think he's learned a lot. It's been what, 17 years? 16 years? Around 2007?
It'd be 19 years by that point.
Right. So it's been a while. Omar's probably, he's got to be older than me. He's probably 69 now. I think Omar's a couple of years older than me. But he's a good guy, really good guy.
Very 67. Good.
That's all? Yeah, good guy, and he knows his Peruvian restaurants. We went to one in Corona, and he's just a good guy. And his son was a great basketball player.
Never made it to the NBA, though, did he?
No. How do I want Seth William? I have no idea what that means. It can be risque.
At least we're going to get a salvage out of this one.
This would be, this is great. And the Mets now, what is it, 2 Sundays in a row? Because they were never winning on Sundays. Didn't they win last Sunday, too? I thought they won last Sunday.
So.
What was last Sunday's date? The 19th? What was the New York Met result for July 19th? Yeah, they won 6-1 against Philly. Yeah. And they never win on Sundays, the Mets.
Or seldom win on Sundays. I mean, I know they won on Flag Day. One day after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
One on Easter Sunday.
Seth, oh my God, I'm going to have to give I didn't even think of the dance. I'm going to have to do a dance. Oh my goodness. I have to get one ready.
Another one, a rival weekend Sunday against the Yankees, that comeback win.
Yeah. Do you go on vacation at all?
Mostly the cosplay conventions, and it's only for a couple of weekends. Most of the time these days, it's been to Raleigh.
Well, that's where you went last month, right? To that convention?
It was May, but yes.
Oh, was it May? God, oh my God.
Last time I went out of state was last year for a convention in Pigeon Forge.
It was what?
It was for a convention in Pigeon Forge.
What is that?
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Oh, I've been to Tennessee. The St. Jude's hospital thing there. I've been to.
No, where I was at is at the easternmost portion of the state, a town called Pigeon Forge in the Smokies.
Did you like it? Did you like Tennessee?
It's fine. I mean, I've only been there like 3 or 4 times in my life.
Good food.
Yeah.
Omar was good.
Barbecue, guys.
Manish, how are you, man? The mistake everyone is going to make is thinking the team just needs minor moves. I agree with you totally, Manish. But I have to tell you, I think if this team started the season fresh, September 1st, if this was the last game of the season and you gave them till October 1st and they started a new season, they wouldn't lose 98 games. This just everything went wrong this season for the Mets. Nothing went right.
All because of injury bug, bad management, bad front office decisions, bad coaching.
Yeah. I would have never believed Freddie Peralta will never
Political
have another ERA of 5 in his life. What would you have bet,
political
Seth,
infiltration.
if I told you that Freddie Peralta on the first day of the season was going to have a 5 ERA? Would you have thought I was crazy? Honestly.
I would have believed you because of the fact that basically
Really?
you're putting a guy who dominated in places like Milwaukee, but was a big fish in a small pond market.
Yeah, but 5 ERA? 5 is pretty bad.
I mean, it's the same argument I had with LeBron James when I called him out as a coward a couple
I
of
can't
days ago
stand him.
on my own channel before the mic. And when I went on Still Nick Fans podcast that Saturday afternoon, saying the only reason he spent 15 years in the East and dominated was because he was the big fish in a small pond. Once he moved to LA in 2018, he got massacred. Same rule applies here with Peralta. Throw in the ABS system and his unwillingness to put a new pitch into his arsenal, and you get a 5 ERA.
Probably can't. You know, I would think if he could, he would put another pitch in the arsenal. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to throw a pitch that you trust enough to throw in the major leagues.
Well, when you consider the ABS system also screwing him over.
Yeah, the ABS hurt him a lot. That gets in your head.
And it's hurt other pitchers too when you think about it.
It gets in your head.
It's also hurt other pitchers.
Oh, I'm sure. Devin Williams, look, I would trade him in a second. Next year,
you're going call up Arizona and ask him.
Go ahead.
And then what? Call up either Arizona. Is it Arizona or Seattle that Sewald's with now?
Might be Seattle.
Call up Seattle and ask them to give you Paul Sewald back.
He was good, Sewald. Everyone the Mets look, remember Heath Bell? They got rid of him. He was great. Sewald, honestly, I didn't see that coming. I never thought Sewald would be that good. You know, that's like you trading Perez. This kid saves 40 games next year for someone. You know, I wouldn't. Listen, pancakes for dinner is excellent. I used to love IHOP before I was diabetic. Now I can eat it again. Brooklyn, you're ahead of me. I'm still seeing the ninth inning here. Is the game actually over? Put it in the books. I have no room behind me. I have no room behind me here, so I'm going to have to dance like this, okay? I used to love chocolate chip pancakes. Oh, my God.
I'm more of a blueberry flapjack. I'm more into blueberry flapjacks myself.
Nothing wrong with that. How are you, Chris, man? Yeah, you're finally going to have a win here. I'll be able to do my little... That was 3 shots. I used to be quick. Change culture. Yeah, it's not so much Stearns. It'll be hard to change. Well, look, I'm not going to get on Lindor anymore. I don't live there. I don't know what's going on. But you know what? It is what it is. I'm glad you're good. I will tell you this much. There was no doubt in my mind that if Lindor was traded, he'd have a really good year next year somewhere. Oh, I don't think he's done, Lindor. I don't think you're going to get 30-30 anymore out of him. But I think you'll get 25 homers and 23 stolen bases, and he'll hit 260, 250. The thing that surprises me with Lindor when he got here is that he didn't hit 270, 280. He hasn't really hit for that much of a batting average here.
Never has his entire career, to be fair.
Well, in the beginning, I think he hit 280. I think he was a 280 hitter in the beginning.
2-2 pitch. In the dirt, full count.
Lindor, his first few years with Cleveland, he hit 313, 301, 273, 277, 284.
Struck
The
Freeland out. Mets winning to 3.
The Mets win, which means here comes the happy dance. I can't go behind. And this is me. I'm the one who feels so all alone. Oh, yeah. So the Mets win it today. That's a shorter bridge. I don't want to destroy you on a Sunday. The books have been closed for under 20 games. You know, Simeon, he has something to smile about. So we win. What next? Well, we beat the Dodgers. And if you would have told me we beat the Dodgers here at Citi Field, I don't give a shit if it's in Pinochle.
Next on the docket, Atlanta.
Now, I am going to one of those games. I have not been to a game all year. And I have, I think, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's game.
Out of the purpose of boycotting?
No, I'm not, I haven't gone. Let me see what I have here. I have the Mets and Braves, my tickets. I have 7:10 tomorrow, 7:10 Wednesday. I can't go. I teach Wednesday. So I can go Monday or Tuesday. I might go. I'd love to do one of these from there. Sit out.
Too bad Wi-Fi usage in a ballpark costs money.
Does it? They don't have free.
As far as I know, no. It's often the case whenever I've gone to the Spectrum Center for Hornets games or wrestling events, or even smaller venues like the Great Cole Center, but they don't have a Wi-Fi because that's on the Central Piedmont Community Campus.
Oh, okay. I think they have Wi-Fi at City. I know they have Wi-Fi at MSG, free Wi-Fi. So the Mets win. Look, is this the final time you'll see Freddie? Well, I would have to think that they will skip Freddie's next start. Do you agree?
Hopefully.
They'd have to. That's when you bring up Wettinger?
Perhaps.
Because you know you're going to have probably 5 guys less on this team. They get off Junction Boulevard, a different happy dance, $70. Yeah, the happy dance.
So who goes to the mound tomorrow for the Mets?
Tomorrow, I don't know. Let's see.
I think it would be Scott, wouldn't it?
Could be. Thornton tomorrow.
Thornton.
Our ace.
And who's he up against? Sale?
Perez, who's been good.
Uh-huh.
And then Tuesday, it's Chris Sale against Christian Scott. You know what? Maybe I'll go Tuesday night.
And I mean, we all know the reason the Braves are good this year again is because they finally have something they've lacked the last 2 years. Consistent health.
Now, let me ask you a question. You're young, but you go as far back as a few years ago when Chris Sale looked like he was finished with Boston, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, are you surprised Sale got it back and became a Cy Young Award winner again?
A little bit. But you know that this year and 2 years ago, maybe the old flash in the pan case.
He's been great, though, Sale. I want to see if the Mets.
The only reason Atlanta didn't go any further was because in 24 was because of his back spasms at the end of the year, and they couldn't use him for San Diego. Not that it would have mattered because the amount of injuries Atlanta had that year, it was as inevitable they would lose to San Diego as a smallpox epidemic.
You come up with the greatest analogies.
Actually, steal a few of them from Urinating Tree.
Chris Sale.
I actually steal a few of them from Urinating Tree.
From what?
Urinating Tree. You know that guy who lives in Pittsburgh?
No.
He's a comic. He's a huge fan of the Steelers. So he does a lot of these haters. He does these haters guides for football, baseball, and hockey seasons. He'll only do it for basketball during when we get to the finals. Very
No.
sardonic, dry-witted, very funny. He's part of the dumpster fire crew, which is himself, Scooter Magruder, Brandon Perna, 5 Points Vids, and Tom Grassi.
No, I'll have to check it out, though. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Chris Sale is a Hall of Famer? You know, he's been in the top 3 Cy Young Award. He's won 1. He's been in the top 3 times. He is 156 and 94, an ERA under 300. His average for 162 games is 14 and 9 with a 2.97 ERA. He averages 200 strikeouts. He averages his 162 game average is 248 strikeouts a year. He struck out 308 in 2017, 274, 225 in 24. He still strikes out a guy an inning, even more than that.
And a 2018 championship ring.
Yeah, this guy might be a Hall of Famer.
I would say so.
Yeah.
But though you could put an asterisk on that 2018 championship.
2018, he was 12 and 4.
I'm saying the championship he won with Boston as a whole could put an asterisk next to it because Alex Cora basically took what he learned from Houston and just copycat this.
Yeah, Sale's getting better as he gets older. He's 37 years old. He's 11 and 6, 2.19 ERA this year. He only walks. His walk rate is unbelievable too. This guy doesn't walk anybody. You know, the year that he struck out, get this, 308 batters, he walked 43 guys. He's got like an 8-1, a 10-1, 9-1, whatever it is. Unbelievable. I never realized how good this guy was.
I mean, the only guy in the NL East that can match him, at least the way I see it with how it's currently set up, is in Philadelphia.
Wheeler?
Sanchez.
Yeah, he's been great too.
And he's on the mound tonight for the Phillies against the Yankees.
What time are you calling your game?
20 after.
I'll definitely listen to it. I'll bring some of my friends in to watch. Now, looking at Wheeler's career.
20 after 7.
Wheeler is his average season is 14 and 9, 3.22. Sale's better than Wheeler.
And then you have to figure that most of Sale's injuries usually revolve around lower back, whereas Wheeler's are upper chest and shoulder. And the fact that at least Wheeler knows he's getting out of the game by next season.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you think he's definitely going to?
I mean, he doesn't want to have Philly abusing him the way Strasburg got abused in Washington.
Yeah. And he is 36. He's going to be 37 next year. He's been great this year.
I mean, it was also the same issue that Matt Harvey suffered in New York, although you can also argue it was the drugs that did Harvey in.
Hey, don't.
Right?
Yeah. I know for a fact, yeah.
So it was the drugs?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, my friend owns a club in the meatpacking district, and Syndergaard used to party as well. Not as much, but Syndergaard, he never. Now, to be fair,
drugs also did him into.
I don't know, but he said that he used to party, the white stuff, but you never saw him there before a game. Like if he had a game Saturday, never saw him there on a Friday night. Never was partying the night before a game.
Thor, don't you know that Coke's bad? Okay.
It's a wonderful thing. Taylor, Taylor's a 3-run home. You're right about that. Taylor hits a lot of 3-run homers. Taylor, I'll tell you, I could see if Philly strikes out on Buxton, it'll either be Taylor or Robert if the Mets make the deal.
And then who do we get out of it from Philly? They're not giving up Marsh. No way we're getting Harper or Schwarber.
No.
Bohm is a maybe at best, right?
I would love him.
But then you'd have to force Bohm to play a position he's not comfortable with. He's another third baseman.
True. I like they have some good players. They have Carter Kaiboom, who's on a DL, IL. I like him. I don't know if they could ever get him.
Be right back, Vinny.
Brad Keller. Tommy Pham. Look, I would say if I'm, you see, also, you have to be able to pinch hit. Yeah, man, I'm being serious. That's true. Hey, I was a conservative on my party, but you know something? I think that Tyrone Taylor is a nice fit for a contending club. He is. First of all, he's a good dude. He's healthy. He can play left. He can play center. Probably can play right.
And if he wants to, he can play first base, but that's not often.
I'm very surprised that they don't try to make Soto a first baseman.
You mean the way the Phillies did with Harper?
Yeah. Now, what is he, 5'11", Soto? Or 5'10"?
Something like that.
Not that tall. But you don't have to be. 3 for 3. 8th homer of the year. Tyrone Taylor really showing the Mets he wants to get the fuck out of here. And Tyrone Taylor now batting .237, which is actually good for Tyrone Taylor.
Because he's not much of a hitter. He's more of a glove, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's an excellent club. Now, Ewing's hitting .264 now. And Benj is down to .258. So you know that both of them are going to get hot because they usually stay between .258 and .275. Ewing was a .280 at one point. He's cooled down a lot. But that happens with young players.
I mean, we could ship more Beto out. I mean, if any team needs a good glove.
Yeah, but usually if you want someone to come off the bench, you want them to be able to hit a bit.
Yeah, Morabito can't. That's why I'm saying ship him out and sell him as a glove.
Tyrone Taylor is good because if you needed a 3-run homer, at least you have a shot. You know?
Or at least a 2-run double that can cut the deficit, but still
So
screw you.
let's talk about important things. How's the phone situation?
It's fine. Mom hasn't called me much.
There wasn't a war. She's not tied up in the basement. She? I don't know about you.
No, she's not.
Okay.
I mean, she's only...
Right? Give me that fucking phone. Glad the Mets won. Me too, Chris. Tyrone Taylor, this might be the last weekend we see him here. See, he looks like a guy that would play for the Phillies, doesn't he? Can't you see him in a Philly uniform hitting a fucking grand slam against the Mets at some point?
Perhaps.
I can definitely see it.
35 to go. I don't mean games. I mean laps.
35 what?
Laps. I'm also keeping track of the Brickyard.
You stumped me. Look at Juan Soto.
Talking about NASCAR.
Oh, I'm glad Juan Soto's on the DL. He just ran out to joke around with Taylor. He ran faster than he ever did at any time this year. He probably don't want to play. You have to sit. Are you watching the post game? Juan Soto just ran out to Taylor joking around, spun around. It was like he was doing the fucking calypso dance and moved back. That didn't look like a guy that had a grade 2 strain. Jesus. Doesn't anybody want to fucking play anymore?
What a hypocrite.
What can we get for Taylor?
Maybe a decent relief arm, starting prospect.
They're going to want a prospect for Taylor. you could see by Steve Cohen. Cohen was very upset with the Met minor league system. They want to rebuild. They definitely want to rebuild.
And who's to blame for that? I blame that mostly on Stearns for mismanaging it.
Well, the interesting thing is, we had no farm system. Stearns came here and he built it. He did.
Yeah, but now it feels like we're destroying it again.
It's interesting how 3 players could make up your whole farm system. Like you could be the number 1 farm system. You graduate 2 guys, now you're number 28. Because Benj and Ewing made the Mets the number 1 farm system. They were that good. Now imagine when they had Jet Williams and Sproat and all these guys. I could see why they were a top system.
And instead of keeping them and trying to refine them, we got rid of them on bullshit trades.
Well, the only thing I could tell you is thank God they gave up Jet Williams and not Ewing. Because I bet you Stearns was trying to push Ewing on them. And they wanted Jet Williams. I guarantee you.
I would have preferred keeping Dylan Sproat, though.
Sproat, to me, has an arm like Tyler McGill. That he'll look great. He'll strike out 1 inning, and then he'll blow up. His control is all over the place. I think Sproat's always going to have a control problem.
But blame that on the fact that his defense didn't want to help him.
Well, it's not that they didn't want it. They're not capable of it. Joe, next Monday, Peralta, Raley, I think Weaver stays. I think, honestly, Alvarez is a better shot at getting traded than Weaver. Because I think now, seeing what you can get for a hitter, I think Stearns has to really now look at that. If you can get Connor early for a guy that was released last year, what the hell can you get for a catcher who's a 760 OPS guy, middle of the league catcher, not great defensively, but he's 24 years of age, and any year he could pop a 30. You can get a lot for Alvarez. But again, Stearns is going to put Alvarez's name out there, Weaver, and if you're willing to pay $1.75 on the dollar, he'll trade him. What would you want for Alvarez? A guy equivalent to Joe Ryan? I wouldn't trade Alvarez for anybody less than Joe Ryan. Where are you going to get a catcher? The Mets haven't had a catcher in years. You see how hard it is to get a catcher that can hit? None of these catchers hit. They all hit 200. They all stink. There's 4 good catchers in the major leagues.
And those catchers are who?
The kid on Colorado, Freeland. Atlanta's catch is good, but he's hurt. Will Smith is good. Who?
Drake Baldwin, you said? Drake Baldwin? You mentioned Atlanta.
Yeah, is that Baldwin? Yeah,
he's
good.
Drake.
They're not going to trade him, but I'm just saying top cat. That's the thing, too. Of all the top catchers, none of them are available.
Will Smith, but he's injured.
Well,
Will Smith, but he's injured.
Will Smith. But you have guys, Shea Langeliers.
Injured.
Okay. He's
injured.
Elite. Dylan Dingler. Not great offensively, terrific defensively. Liam Hicks, Miami. They're not letting him go. Drake Baldwin, they're not letting him go. Ivan Herrera. William Contreras, too old.
St. Louis.
Gabriel Moreno, he's terrific. He's great. They're not trading him. Rushman for Baltimore, I could see him being traded. Ryan Jeffers, he's okay. He's good, but
Sally's not. Sally would rather retire in Kansas City than get traded.
Oh yeah, he would never go anywhere. He's great, Perez. They just want him around as like an elder statesman in the clubhouse. You're right,
Now
Chris.
he's their all-time home run king.
Let me tell you something. Vientos is more talented than me, the guy that Boston just got. Yeah, William, I don't know. Alvarez for Lombard Jr. Yeah, if you gave me, I'll take Volpe with him. If you gave me Volpe, and I'll try to straighten Volpe out at that age. Yeah,
I would rather get for a backup shortstop.
I want to know why Washington's looking to trade Abrams. Guy's going to hit 45 homers.
Maybe
40
bad
homers.
attitude.
It has to be the
Maybe a
attitude.
bad attitude.
Has to be. Who the hell is trading this guy? Why would they trade him? Washington's going to be great. If Washington can get some pitching, Washington has the worst relief pitching I've seen in 10, 15 years. I think their ERA is about 7, their bullpen.
They've had one of the worst rotations and bullpen since the end of the Strasburg era.
Yeah, they have great lineup though. But again, you take Abrams out of that lineup, that's a guy that's going to hit 40 homers this year. Wood is great, the outfielder, but he strikes out 200 times a year. They're flawed, Washington, but they have a lot of good hitters. But we should just really try to go for something that would really help us long term. I want to see if they have the acceptance speech yet.
Yeah, I'm still keeping tabs on the Brickyard race. About 27 laps left in it, by the way.
Okay. Here we go, everybody.
2004 AL 2017, New York NL 2005 to 2000. With
11.
In baseball, I have to say that I want to thank God for this opportunity to be here today. There's no doubt that this is incredible to be surrounded by so many greats. If I can compare this moment to something that I experienced in baseball, I have to say that this is the closest thing of my first at-bat in the big leagues, where I feel excited to be here, but at the same time, I feel very nervous. So these guys really make me nervous. Before I talk about baseball, I have to say that, behind every player, there is a village of people. So thinking about my career, there's no doubt that I could have accomplished this on my own. And before I speak about also baseball, I want to talk about gratitude. It reminds us that none of us can accomplish anything alone. To the Baseball Writers Association of America, I want to say thank you for making me a Hall of Fame. Really means a lot, this opportunity to be part of this such a special group. And for those that saw things different, I want to say also thank you. I appreciate your perspective. If baseball had really taught me something, I want to say that I hope, in life we continue to measure ourselves by the same standard we have used to measure others.
That's true.
I want to take the opportunity to also recognize the people of the Hall of Fame they are protecting the history of the game of baseball. Jane, thank you for everything. George, John, Whitney, and every member of the Hall of Fame.
That's hilarious.
It's a privilege, honestly, what you guys do preserving the stories of the game of baseball.
He's a religious guy.
I would like to also acknowledge Commissioner Ron Manfred, who is also here. Thank you for being here, sir. I also want to say that when I was growing up in Manatí, Puerto Rico, many of these guys were teaching me the game of baseball. I know some of you guys opened a lot of doors, and went through a lot of situations in your career. Then my generation was able to walk through those doors because you opened the path for us. So I just want to say thank you for making this game better. So I feel very blessed, and I hope our generation have done the same for the one that is already playing the game. And when I think about the game itself, I always say that every generation has the responsibility to continue to make the baseball game better. I want to recognize my new two teammates. Andrew, love you, brother. I love playing against you. You know, Jeff, I love playing with you in Houston. That was a great experience.
That was
just to be able to be here and being
referring to Bagwell.
My friend told me he's a
And I want
terrible
to take
guy.
the opportunity to say a few words in Spanish for mi papá, mami, papi.
Who was a terrible
You
guy?
don't speak English?
This is the difficult part,
Who was
guys.
a terrible guy? Jeff Bagwell?
Papi,
Kent.
mami, bendición, gracias por darlo todo por nosotros, por asegurarse que creciéramos en una familia con mucho amor y cariño. Papi, quiero darte
Just
las
that my
gracias por
family will show
enseñarme
me
el
much
valor del
love for
trabajo.
my endeavors.
Te veía salir muchas veces de casa cansado, pero nunca te vi quejarte. Yo creo que hiciste un gran trabajo y
You were
quiero que
man of the
sepas que me
house, told me how to be
enseñaste
man of the house.
el esfuerzo y la gran responsabilidad que es uno esforzarse en la vida.
Great possibilities
Mami,
for my life.
gracias por hacerle de nuestro hogar un espacio seguro, por enseñarnos el respeto, por corregirnos cuando era necesario.
It does,
Ay,
man.
también quiero darte las gracias por los chancletazos, honestamente. Hoy me río de eso, pero yo sé que detrás de cada corrección que hubo de parte de ustedes, yo sé que siempre hubo amor. Así que, como dice uno de los mejores artistas de
Wife's good
nosotros, un aplauso para mami y papi porque en verdad rompieron.
We used to do church services in the bottom of
A mi
City
hermano
Field.
Wilfredo, mi hermana Marilis, Lismari. Los amo.
When they get
Mi
to here, it's
sobrino,
nice.
mi familia. Gracias por estar conmigo siempre.
His brother.
A Puerto Rico,
Very nice. He's a class act, fellas, but
True.
maybe help the Mets.
gracias por demostrarme honestamente
Yeah, they only made the
que se puede
postseason
llegar
once
lejos sin
during
olvidar
his
de, uno, de
seven-year
dónde
tenure.
uno es.
No, he was great, though.
A todos los puertorriqueños que hicieron el esfuerzo de venir aquí a Cooperstown, gracias,
He
¿verdad?
should
Lo
steal
valoro.
signs, if anything.
And to everyone listening, you know, everywhere I play baseball, I always try to represent my island. I try to do the best I could for the organizations that I play, but also I wanted to represent Puerto Rico. There's another team that I want to have the opportunity to say a few words. My children, Ivana, Kiara, Evan Carlos. Being your father has been the greatest honor of my life. Baseball has given me an incredible career, but you guys always give me reason to be a better man. People in life will watch you, how you treat people. And to me, that's the real legacy. So make sure that you always treat people the right way. When I pray to God at night, I don't pray to God that life will be easy for you guys. I pray that you become strong when you face adversity, grateful when you encounter success.
I saw that, Waffle. You
and
look good.
faithful in every season of your life. You know, there's no doubt that we're going to encounter a lot of people in our path, and there's going to be people that just going to believe in us. There's going to be people that will doubt us. But you know what? Two of them are here to help us grow. Never let success to fool you into thinking that you're better than everyone else, and never let failure to make you forget that you're good enough. You guys are good enough. Everywhere you go, I have to let you know one thing. You're always going to have a dad cheering for you guys. Love you guys.
Very nice.
When I was growing up, I graduated in Manatí, mi escuela, Fernando
I'm just
Callejo,
gonna hop
mi
off,
amigo,
man. I'll
Puerto
see ya.
Rico.
Okay.
And
Believe
there's
it?
no doubt that baseball
Okay, I'll see
became
you
my
on your
classroom. You know, every season that I played really taught me something. Every person that God put in my path really helped me to get here today. To my first manager and professional baseball player, Bob Harrell, Thank you for making this young kid from Puerto Rico feel like he belonged. You were preparing me for life in baseball. Then again, my biggest decision of my career at 19 years old.
So that's a bit of it. You know, you look at this Met club and you see on any given day what they can do. They come out here. Freddie Peralta was Freddie Peralta. Defense did him in a bit. He did battle. I'll give him that. I see that McLean has learned how to battle through adversity. And you have to remember, it must be very hard when you got your first baseman kicking the ball around. It's hard enough to get outs. No, but I know what he meant, don't. He was spinning around there. It didn't look like he was really suffering too much. I think that's what he meant. I've seen a big difference in Carlos Beltran this year. I know he's taken those kids under his wing, Ewing and Benj. He certainly has. And I think he's more relaxed this year. You know, last year, I was going to say he didn't know anybody, but this whole roster was different too this year. He didn't know anybody this year either. But maybe he liked who was here this year. I'm not sure. I know he's friends with Luis Robert. I know they're friends. But you know what? When you see a day like day, oh, no, absolutely. Don't. I agree with you. You see a day like today without Soto in the lineup. You know, Tyrone Taylor, a bench player, hit a 3-run homer. You got the kids playing well. It gives you hope. It does. It gives you hope. And the thing is, the National League stinks. Everybody can make the playoffs. It's July 26th. You got 11 teams that can make the playoffs. You look at this. Are the Mets really that far away from competing next year? To me, a healthy Lindor and a healthy Soto with, even if Benj stays on par now. Hey, Ed, and even if Ewing and Benj didn't really improve, if they stayed pretty status quo, Ewing's going to steal 45 bases next year and Benj 35. So I would think that it can't get worse than this year. And again, what does it come down to? Starting pitching. You have to be able to throw a starter out there. This isn't the AAA lineups that you face in AAA, where you face, 4 players that may be major league players. That's it. You are facing good pitching every day. And you have to throw out good pitching every day. And the Met bullpen, if you would have told me this year, without the injuries, that Devin Williams blew only 2 games this year for saves, Weaver was having this year, I would have thought they were fine. If you would have told me that Freddie Peralta had a 5 ERA, I would have thought you were lying to me. How could Freddie Peralta have a 4.99 ERA? But he does. Is it hard to play in New York? Is it hard to play with a teammates you don't know and a coaching staff you don't know and a pitching coach you don't know? Maybe. It could bother Freddie, where he used to go over to his old pitching coach to tinker a little. Doesn't know this guy. You know you're going out there with a fielding team that is toward the end of baseball last, where Milwaukee's always toward the top defensively. It's a contract year. He is Peralta.
Never heard this before, but he's probably my favorite player. Like, as a position player, he's amazing in all that he does. And he was unbelievable. I also went to check the iPad after that about he took against me, like how me and Torrens pitching and how he was able to to hit that double, it was crazy. I think that we did all that we had to do in that bat. But
Freddie Freeman's
that's
Freddie
enough that
Freeman.
I can do.
You mentioned so much with the trade deadline coming up next week. Is it tough to keep that stuff out of your mind as you try to go about your business and do what you need to do?
It is. Especially because I've been treated here really good. My teammates, everybody here in the organization, they've been amazing. And, it's not easy to not think about it. But at the end of the day, it's business, and I have.
He knows he's gone. He knows he's gone. Interesting, right? You look at players that, I agree, Chris, you have to perform. Don't, yeah. Yeah, Manaea pitched very well. Look, Manaea is never going to be the Manaea of a few years ago. He's not that good. But I think Manaea can be a 4 ERA guy. I do. William, I think it takes 2 years. Because I'll tell you what I do know. Kai Correa has helped Bichette at third base a great deal. Kai Correa was really brought in here for that. He made J.D. Davis a decent third baseman when he was disgusting. He's very talented with third baseman. And he worked with Bichette 2 months, and look at how Bichette has improved at third base. 102 losses guaranteed? I don't know. No, they're not going to go 42 games under 500. No. There won't be 42 games under 500. If I had to pick right now, you got to remember in September they're facing B lineups because no one's going to go hard against them. They're going to rest players. 67 and 95. I think 67 and 95 is about the number I've put up. I think that, working new players in is going to be paramount. It's going to be rough, though. It's going to be rough. This is tough. Miami's always destroyed us. They've always destroyed us, no matter what they do. And they love to destroy us. They love it. They got off on it after 2006. Or what was it, 2016, whatever it was. I would think that I just asked my scouting friend what he thought the Met record would be. We'll see what he says. He's usually pretty good. He said if the Mets, he said 70 and 92. Yeah, I think that the Mets will, they'll play with a little pride. I think that a lot of these young players, you have to remember, you're going to have McLean. McLean's only going to get better. McLean's going to have a big month in September when all the players, the AAA rosters, you're facing 2 or 3 guys in roster that aren't fighting for playoff spots. So he'll mow through those guys. If I had to guess, yeah, that's what it's going to be at 70 and 92 probably. I think that this showed you a lot about this team today. You look at games like today, and it shows you any team can win on any given day. James, they're not going to win 100. They won't lose 102. I'll tell you why. They have too much talent. Now, if Bichette doesn't come back, if Soto don't come back, which I don't think he is, I still think 102 set 40 games under 500, 42 games. Do the math. So what do they have to do over the next whatever games they have? I think that's a little too much. But it all depends. But you'll see guys like Clifford can come up and hit 10 homers in a month. You know, guys come up that pitchers don't know. Usually the hitters get the better of the pitchers until the pitchers learn the hitters' weaknesses. So the Mets will get a juice right away from guys like Clifford coming up. And the season will be over by the time that the pitchers catch up to them. And you're going to have young pitchers. See, that's why I never believe what I see in April and September. In April, pitchers aren't ready yet. Well, the pitchers are way ahead of the hitters in April. And the hitters are way ahead of the pitchers in September because you're usually facing B-level prospects now that are in the bullpens and all that, and hitters get off on it. 100 just sounds like a lot. I think with Benjamin Ewing getting better, if Lindor's healthy, and Bichette, it's all up to the pitching. I do agree with you. It's interesting. It's interesting. But I think that, look, bullpens are very fickle. I don't think you're going to have a guy come up and be better than Williams or Weaver. But Brazoban, you can get someone to catch fire. It happens. It's all the starting pitching. That's all it is. You know, Wettinger could come up and be lights out for 6 starts. See, you really don't know. It's really a game of ifs. Pitching in politics. You're right. But I think that more than anything, they're evaluating talent now. The only reason Green is here is to give Stearns a real assessment at the end of the season of who you overrated, who's never going to be a major leaguer. I think it's pretty safe to say now that Brett Beatty is never going to be an everyday player. I think that's pretty safe to say. He wouldn't hurt you in the field, but he's going to hit 230. Now, he's going to hit 16 or 17 home runs and knock in 65 runs. Absolutely. But he's going to have an OPS of 650. He's not going to walk. He's going to strike out a lot. It's not a major league player. He's a nice bench piece for a team that is a 90-win team. He can't be your starting third baseman, second baseman, certainly not the outfield. But now you look at this team and you look at where you stand. If you don't get rid of Bichette, Bichette's going to take the qualifying offer. You have a guy next year that's going to hit 280 on a season looking for a contract and go 20 and 90. And he'll be back to his 35 doubles and his 770, 780 OPS. You're going to have a full season of Soto, a full season of Lindor if he's not traded. Right there, that's a third of a lineup, which is really good. Then you have Benjamin Ewing. Say one regresses and one gets better. That's a wash. So you have what you have this year. Benj is a 20 home run guy, and Ewing's a 14 home run guy. They're both going to steal upwards of 35 bases. 67. I think they'll win 70. I think they'll go 70 and 92. They went through that tough stretch. Yeah, but Lindor's not going to have a 650 OPS September 29th. It'll be 715, 725. Remember when I told you that Bichette would hit over 300 June 1st for the season, and he's probably there. Lindor will have a 740 OPS for the rest of the season. From today on, 740 above. I'm more concerned to see now that Ewing has hit a little bit of a roadblock, and so has Benj. I want to see how they recover now. Because the dog days of August, that's when young players wear down. So we'll see. Would I surprise if Benj got down to 240? No, I wouldn't. Yeah, the Marlins are in trouble. Do you remember the guy that was on here telling me, the Cardinals, you're wrong. They're going to win 95, blah, 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 blah. I think the 2 games over 500. The Cardinals aren't going to be a 500 team. Believe me. I don't know who was telling me that, but on here saying, you're wrong about the Cards. The Cards are great. The Cards stink. Cards aren't going to win 80 games this year. I told you guys that. James, yeah, I would. Well, look, it all depends. It depends. Stearns is going to have to eat money. And until the CBA agreement is ratified, he's not going to take that on. Because he just doesn't know. And no team is going to take on Lindor's contract without knowing what the CBA agreement is. So really, you're stuck in limbo here. Look, would it be the worst thing in the world to have Lindor at shortstop next year? No. You're not going to get a guy to go 20 homers, 75 RBIs, 255 with 20, and that's what Lindor full season next year. He's not hitting 30 home runs anymore. But I think Lindor will be 24 and 70, 255, 30 doubles, 22 steals, and still above average by a hair defense. Where are you going to get a shortstop like that? And he'll play every day. You don't find that anywhere. I think you need to bring strong personalities into this. They thought Simeon, it's very hard to be a leader when you're hitting 220. Like, who the hell wants to listen to you? Marte had the creds. Marte was a good player at one time. But guys that haven't been good for years, no one wants to listen to them. You bring a couple of guys in here that have the pedigree, and it starts with Carlos Beltran. Carlos Beltran in that dugout. It's just an incredible lightning rod for everyone else. And that's another thing that we didn't talk about here. His commitment to God. Stearns and Cohen seem to have no problem with it. Think about it. He is a very religious guy. They seem to not care. So maybe that culture isn't as broken as we think it is. Because Beltran wouldn't have been offered. I know he was offered the managerial job. He wouldn't have been offered it if they were that concerned. So obviously, they're not. I think some of these players have fractured this clubhouse. Yeah, isn't that scary, don't? Oh, I'm flustered too, James. Also, I wanted to thank a couple of people who know that who they are, who zelled me and gave me a cash app. I thought that was very nice of you. It's really appreciated. It really is. So wait till next year seems to be a mantra that we have gotten too used to. Absolutely. But then again, it's hard to win. Look at the Yankees. When's the last time the Yankees won the World Series? It's hard to win the World Series. It truly is. The only good thing about this year is I think it didn't con the Mets into believing they were good. I think the front office has to really look at this club now and say, no, we're really not that good. You know, when you sneak into the playoffs, you win around you're not supposed to, you con everybody. There's no conning with this team. This team wasn't any good. And sometimes you don't know why your team is not good. You know this year. It's defense. Defense and starting pitching. You trusted Senga to come back and be Senga of his rookie year, where he was second or third in the rookie of the year voting. I think he was second. Not happening. Why do you think you got Senga for $15 million a year? Think about it. Every Japanese pitcher gets 30 million out of the gate when they come from Japan. This guy got 15. Think about it. Look at all the other Japanese pitchers, what they've signed for. Why did he only get that? Because he was a hybrid. He was a reliever starter who had arm issues. He was always hurt in Japan. The Mets took a shot on him. The first year, they got lucky. Very sputtering offense, yeah. Now, the offense, honestly, didn't have a chance to gel. I think Lindor and Soto, about 16 games they played with each other, or 20 games, whatever it was. I would have liked to seen the whole lineup intact for 50 games. Polanco, everyone. I don't think they would have been the answer, but I don't think it would have been as bad as this. Again, if you took this roster right now and you started the season October 1st in indoor stadium, they wouldn't lose 90 games. Hey, Dave, how are you? Yes, please hit the like if you don't mind. And if you haven't subscribed, for the people that will come in later and watch us on the replay, because seemingly I have 20 to 50 people in here and 800 people watch this. So please think about subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And leave a comment. I certainly look at all the comments. Believe me, I read them all. It takes me an hour a day. I get 150 to 250 of them a day. I read every one of them. I truly do. You know, I feel honored that you guys even care enough to watch me. I feel honored that you care enough. I know there are other Met channels out there, and you even stop in to say hello to me. It means a lot. It truly does. You know, I'm sorry we're going through this with the Mets. It's going to be an interesting week. I will come on and do lives as trades happen, especially if there are any trades with the Mets. But if there are other trades, I'll come on and even say something about them as well. But we're going to have a fun week this week because I think the trades will start after Wednesday. I think that Peralta will be pulled from his next start, obviously. I don't think Weaver will be used after Thursday or Friday either. I could see the Mets calling up a couple of young players. That's why they'll make the move on Soto. Hey, Ray, enjoy the rest of your day too. So thank you, everybody, for coming in. If you don't mind, I'm doing a really good show tonight. I would love you to come in and just say hi. It'll help me out. It truly will. Because I think my sponsor will be watching. And I want to impress him. And I know you're my friends. So I feel comfortable enough to ask you. And I'll just give you the heads up on it. It is the All Things Must Pass George Harrison album. A full review, deep dive. So if you don't mind, if you can just come in, it'll help me with my sponsor. Everybody, God bless you. Thank you for coming in. I think it's 9:30 maybe. Thank you, James. And thank you, of course. Let me see what time I have it scheduled for. It's scheduled for 10:05. And it'll help me. I really do appreciate it. Everyone else that watches this on the replay, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I truly do. Keep on watching Ryan and keep on watching Wardy and Rob. And we're all in this together. We may not do shows together, but we're all in this together. We're all crazy Met fans. Have a good night, everybody. See you later, 10:05.